Now, I noticed a very interesting viral video going around where apparently Britain has abandoned its churches and turned it into whatever this is, and it's depressing.
So you lot, yeah, this is Magna Carta, yeah, in central London.
Right? So they turned the church into what appears to be a restaurant.
Yeah. If Christ was here...
apparently people are saying that this is still a good thing because other churches were turned into mosques. And it sparked a lot of conversations on the internet about it. People are incredibly emotional, especially people who aren't from Britain, but they're Christians. And so I'll offer to you my take on it. It depends how you want to tackle this issue. The first one is one of the most proeminent atheists, Richard Dawkins, which spearheaded the atheist movement. And right now he kind of regrets what he did. He regrets it for two reasons. Number one, he realizes that people who are Christians are less likely to commit crime. Because in his explanation, there are several factors which gets a person to decide to commit a criminal activity. The first one is his own conscience. Like, there are people who just can't will themselves to commit a crime. The second one is if they can get away with it. And so, if it's about shoplifting, like, they try to, see if there's any security cameras, see if there's any cops around. And the third one is religion. And so, religion comes into play if a person would be willing to commit the crime, and they would think that they would get away with it, but God is watching, right? So because God is watching, that prevents them from doing a crime. Like, even if Richard Dawkins doesn't believe in God, the fact that other people believe in God, they're a lot more easy to control by making them afraid of doing bad things because they would get punished, right? So, like, that's one reason that he's supporting religion. The second one is aesthetical. I guess he likes the churches, he likes the Christmas carols, he likes, like, the Christian aspect of Britain, and he views the Christian aspect as being part of Britain, and so he would be sad if 10 years from now Christianity would be missing from Britain, and instead it would be replaced with Islam or woke ideology, because that wouldn't be British, right? And so I want to tackle the second argument, because I find it interesting. And it actually leads to what we saw here with the church being turned into a restaurant. How do you want Christianity to exist without the Christians? Like, this is the question, the reason churches exist is because Christians attend Mass and they donate and they're able to keep Christianity alive. Like all the traditions and everything else are kept alive because Christians are there. And so, if you have a country that's Christian, like for instance, Romania, Eastern Europe, and you were to have a group of people, like in Romania, there were a group of people that wanted to build the largest mosque in Europe. And the Christians were against that, right? And there was such societal pressure against the mosque being constructed that eventually they didn't construct it. And so, if this thing happened in Romania, like let's say you have a couple of churches that are in decay, and a couple of people that are of Islamic faith wants to buy the churches to make them into a mosque, like immediately the community would pitch in, and they would raise funds so that they can outbid the Muslims. Like it would make it very difficult for them to actually try and get the churches. Or if you had like some business owner that wanted to buy a church and convert it into a restaurant, the community would get together and they would pitch money in order to save the churches. Like there would be massive donations from various leaders and organizers, like trying to get together, and there would be people like going out of their way in order to attend mass. In fact, even the atheist movement in Romania is actually sometimes helping Christians. For instance, during COVID, there was a ban on going to church during Easter. And many people that I know, which were atheists, went out of their way in order to attend Easter just to be there, to encourage Christians to attend as well. And the argument was that, look, we're atheists, but like, we never say that people should be forced not to be religious. Like, we were never in favor of banning churches. Like, we just don't believe in God. And we're fine, living in our place and letting Christians do whatever they want to do, as long as they let us do what we want to do. Like, we cohabitate. And like, this is the mentality here, like I can have a Christian neighbor, and a Christian goes like, I can have an atheist neighbor, as long as the topic of religion never gets brought up, as long as he doesn't try to indoctrinate my children or whatever. Like, sure, we can be neighbors. Like, we don't have to fight. Like, we don't have to look for the discord just for the sake of having the discord. Like, we can keep things to ourselves, right? And that's like the mentality in Eastern Europe. And this is like, I think, like a more friendly mentality, a more cooperative mentality than you have in the West. In the West, it's extremely antagonistic. And maybe it's the antagonism that actually brought to the new generation of being anti-Christians. Because that's pretty much what happened in Britain. Like, you have a generation of people, of the Redditors, that were atheists because the moral busybodies, the Puritan Christians, like, they went out of their way to mess with them. With all their hobbies. It's like, they started messing with rock and roll, they started messing with movies, they started messing with video games, they started messing with Harry Potter. Like constant messing. And, this level of hostility brings about spite and disdain, and it plants the seeds for subversion. It's very easy for an outside group to fund a couple of atheist movement if you have like a lot of people that are already dissatisfied with religion. And I think like that's one of the reasons why in the West you have this, while in Eastern Europe you don't. Because again, like in Eastern Europe, like people cohabitate, right? As long as you don't go out of your way to piss off religious people. Like for instance, if you build a grand mosque, okay, like that will piss them off. And they will buy helicopters and throw pig carcasses from the helicopter. That actually did happen. Or someone made a catapult and was throwing pig meat into the, right? Why? Because they went out of their way to be antagonistic. Even like the Muslim population in Romania from Constanța, they said like, no, we do not want this grand mosque because the entire populations of Muslim in Romania is a lot smaller than the mosque that you're constructing. And we have like a very good relationship with our Romanian brethren. We're not seeking this level of strife. So like, it's like a total different mindset, right? And this brings me to the mindset that I'm seeing in the West right now. A lot of people who are looking at this and they're seeing it a problem, they want the government to help. Like, they would want a society where the government would force everyone to be a Christian. Like, if it was possible, the government should just remove free will and constrain everyone to become Christian. And I don't know, like, is this the only way for Christianity to propagate under the boot? Like, the only way for Christianity to spread the message is to force people to be Christians. I don't think that's the case. Again, like, I'm an atheist. I don't know. Like, I think other religions are more effective for that. Like, Islam, for instance, is a religion that's much more crafted and well-suited to get people to submit. I personally like to think that people join Christianity because they find Christianity to be wholesome and spiritual fulfilling. I'm not a Christian because I generally don't believe in God, right? Like, I don't believe in the supernatural entity. And if you can't believe that, like, if you can't convince yourself that it exists, then it's very difficult to be part, Like, I would lie to myself if I don't believe in the supernatural and I say I'm a Christian, right? Like, I generally don't believe in angels. I don't believe in demons. I don't believe in anything that's supernatural. And so this is why I'm not a Christian. But, like, I can definitely see that Christianity has some positive aspects, because even if you don't believe, the writings exist, the philosophy is there. And this is why I decided to baptize my son. Because I do think that Christianity is indeed a worthwhile philosophy. But this is not because I'm forced to believe it. This is not because I'm constrained or I'm doing it to impress other people or I'm doing it because I want to be viewed as virtuous. No, it's because I'm convinced, right? Like, it borrowed a lot of philosophies that have to do with Stoicism from the Greeks. The people who wrote that philosophy have thought about it for thousands of years, and therefore it withstood the test of time. It's kind of like the American independence, for instance, or the American Constitution. Like, it's written by mankind, but, like, I'm looking at the document and I can conclude, yeah, like, it's a great document. because over the course of history, it has withstood the test of time, and it has managed to create a stable society. Now, the situation that you have in England, I don't think should necessarily... I mean, the government is in part to blame, right? Because if it was targeting immigrants from Cuba, Mexico, South Africa, Ukraine, then you'd obviously have like a huge Christian population. That still wouldn't be British. Like, the British would probably still be atheists. But you wouldn't shut down the churches, right? So, like, you could make that argument. However, like, if you remove the government from the picture, the main problem is that Christianity in Britain doesn't exist because Christians don't know how to make it appealing. That's the main issue. Like they don't know how to convince other people to join Christianity out of their own free will without constraining them. And I think like the way that used to work is when you see a Christian that has a wholesome life, you know, like they have a family and they're happy, and they have a job and everything is working out for them. Another person that's less happy may ask, like, well, what is your secret? Like, how do you manage to have such a happy and fulfilling life? And they will say, well, because I'm a Christian, right? Or if that person gets involved with the community and starts traveling and then does volunteering work and goes to soup kitchen and helps people and talks to people and is generally being kind and compassionate, that also pushes people towards Christianity. And so, like, I don't think, like, Christianity should be imposed with the whip. I don't feel like you can force people to attend Mass. I mean, theoretically you can, but is that what you want? Like, is that virtue? Like, if someone is forced to do charity, is that virtue? Because at the end of the day, you know, that's paying taxes. Like, you're paying taxes, and some of the taxes go to the NHS, some of the taxes go to welfare, right? Like, is that going to count when you go to heaven and you can say, well, yeah, I mean, I paid my taxes, so therefore I didn't do charity work. Yeah, I don't know. I do think it's possible for Christianity to spring back. Like, it happened during the French Revolution, right? Like, they had the goddess of reason, the cult of reason, I believe they called it, and Notre Dame was turned into a warehouse. And it was the same thing, like Christians had to shut down churches. But after the French Revolution went away, Christianity sprang back. There you have Spain that was conquered by the Muslims, right? I think the Moors, right? They conquered Spain. And they like actively fought against Christians, and still, like, Christianity sprung back. So it's not necessarily a permanent thing. Now, of course, it can also become permanent. I mean, there have been other nations around the world that used to be Christians and then they became Muslim. Britain can always become similar to Pakistan, right? Like, Pakistan is also a nation that has a nuclear arsenal. But, I mean, it's a little bit more impoverished than the United Kingdom, right? And it's Islamic in nature. They don't hate their men as much as the UK does, so I think they would have the moral high ground in that aspect. Pakistan doesn't seem to have, like, a seething hatred towards the cisgender straight man that the British politicians and sometimes activists and journalists often display. Just read The Guardian from 2016 to 2018. And you'll see, like, they're even talking about curfews for men and other such nonsense. So I guess Pakistan doesn't have that. But other than that, you know, it's a stable nation. It functions. I mean, it doesn't collapse. That could also be a possibility. I don't know. Right now, it's difficult to tell. But what I do know is that it is possible for Christianity to bounce back in the United Kingdom. And it is also possible for it to become like Pakistan. Again, it's not a derogatory thing. Like, no, Pakistan is a country like others, and Britain can follow suit. Anyway, right. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.